Yo, what's good, man? This is EC Pinchar Podcast with your one and only host, Glory. Boy, back here with another special episode. Yeah.
Hey, I see you, my boy.
Yeah, with the one and only, Shah. Shah, bro, you going to tell them about yourself, and the reason why we're here, as you can see already, show them the flag, bro. Yep.
See it.
So Shah was on the news, at the Buffalo News. He been going crazy about what's going on overseas. And for those people that's not really following the news, you're going to learn something today because I have Shah right here. I have some questions for him. And then, so we're going to see where this going to get to. So tell him about yourself, bro. Tell him who you are, what you do, and we can start.
Glory, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate you, my brother. I've known Glory and his brother and his family for quite some time now, so I appreciate you for having me in the show. This is your brother Shah Monsur. I'm from New Jersey, originally been in Buffalo for over a decade now. Work with a lot of Muslim organizations, part of Dose of Dawah, part of my mosque, my local mosque I joined called Jami Masjid. I attend many other masjids, many other organizations, and their programs all around. I'm pretty much all-rounded involved person and involved citizen of Buffalo, I would say.
And let's now jump into some of the questions that I already have for you. But you know what's going on around the world, though.
Absolutely.
Can you kind of get these people to understand exactly what's going on based on what you've been protesting for and also been, standing up for in order to kind of bring an awareness to the Buffalo community?
Absolutely, man. Hey, the world is slowly waking up.
Okay.
I would say the world media in the West definitely doesn't work the same way as how it portrays the story if it's for a country in the West. So there's definitely a big difference here. There's definitely double standards here. We have seen what our media does and the power of our media during the war of Ukraine, but we obviously don't see the same, or we haven't seen the same for Palestinians. And that is the reason why I decided I'm not an activist. I've never done this type of work. Yes, I have always attended protests and rallies for Palestine, always spoke up about it, always, fought against it, talked about it, but never to this level where I'm coming in a show and actively, trying to make a difference, actively trying to start a conversation, trying to change something, trying to spark up anything, basically. And just want to know what you know about Palestine, period. So since October 7th, people do know a lot about Palestine, whether they're for it or against it. And I'm here to break some misconception. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, to break some.
And also to raise an awareness about the current situation about Palestine and speak the truth and nothing but the truth.
All right, okay. Got you, bro. And so for me as an interviewer, so I'm here to learn as well. At the end of the day, it's good to learn from all sides. All sides of the story. I've been looking at the news, looking at all sides of the story. And then, me personally, I wasn't born or raised in either one of the countries, but it's always the best thing to do, just to be aware of what's going on around the world. So what caught your attention in terms of Palestine instead of just, being just the people of Islam and so on, but what caught your attention in terms of the history and also other things?
See, I'm Bengali, so as a nation, as Bangladesh, we have never accepted Israel as a nation. 1971, when we came out of oppression from Pakistan, we fought. We had in war. We're the only country in the world that actually fought for their language, and we had in war that lasted for over 9 months. So we understood, and when we know what oppression was, because we were also colonized by Europe by England for over 200 years. So when Israel sent us a letter of acknowledgement, we sent it back. We didn't even accept it. So we never, as a nation, we never accepted another nation because of their oppression towards Palestinian people.
Right.
So I've always me being Bengali, always knew that since I was a kid. However, just seeing that every day on TV, you know, Yasser Arafat and all these guys, uh, I don't want to say it became the norm, but it kind of became the norm, right? But it's sad because it shouldn't be, right? It shouldn't. People dying shouldn't be the norm, right? People have the right to be alive and the same right to, you know, education and health and everything that we have. So at this point, it has reached a level where I can't tolerate anymore. I can't take it no more. It has been every Ramadan. It's been every Ramadan, dude. It's just check out videos and you will see it. In 20, it's the same story in 2022. It's the same story in 2021. It's the same story in 2020. It's the same story year before. That every Ramadan they attack the mosque. They go crazy. They kill people. It's the same story everywhere. If they're under occupation. That's all it is. They control everything, and these Palestinians are just nothing but second-class citizens on their own land, the land where they're born and raised in. So I'm here to let you know about them and their sufferings for the last 75 years after them losing their own country.
And how did that happen though, in terms of like them coming to a point where like losing their own country and so on?
So I got to take a step back. During the late 1800s, there was a guy by the name of Theodor Herzl. He started a movement called Zionism. So you're more than welcome to look it up, what that movement is. And later on, in the beginning of 1900s, when the Zionism was fully formed, they, you know, even though Theodor Herzl passed away, but they actually took his idea and went along. It's nothing but a colonial project to take over a state. And you know, with the help of, you know, I don't know if do you know anything about World War II and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I know about World War II. Yep.
So you know the story during the whole genocide and what Hitler was doing to the Jewish people and of all over European countries, Russia, Germany, Austria.
Yeah. I mean, it's something that we all learned in school, especially like, you know, growing up. That was like the major topic.
Right.
In terms of like, okay, we have to learn about this. There was a book for it. There was this. And I know a lot of people that's going to be watching this do know that story. So, yeah. For
sure. So, obviously, Hitler was just, he killed 6 million Jews. So, the Jews, they needed a place to go. So, if you look up Balfour Declaration in 1917, that's when basically England was promising a land to the Jewish people. And at that time, there were other, it wasn't just Palestine, dude. They had Uganda in mind. There were 6,000 acres of land that was promised. 6,000 acres of land that was promised to the Jewish people in Uganda. And they were also thinking about Argentina. There were other countries in mind. So if they were going to be in Uganda, you would have the same type of resilience and the same type of occupation in Uganda today, and instead of Palestine. So it just happened to be Palestine for whatever geopolitical reasons, and it just made sense for them. But obviously, you know who's from Israel, who's not, just by looking at the way people look. You know who's from Middle East. You look at them, you see their skin color, you see their hair texture, you see what type of food they eat, their culture. You know who's from where. So then, you know, I don't wish death upon nobody, and I don't agree with Holocaust, and that happened. But with the help of Britain and Britain and France, obviously some Americans, they ended up over 6 million Jews, 7 million Jews, I think, ended up being in Palestine, which they call occupied Palestine. In 1948, that's when Nakba happened. That's when the Great Destructions happened, where over 750,000 people. Imagine that, 750. In 1947, imagine this. In 1947, they moved into a new country, right? In 1947. So you have the Palestinians. Now they're welcoming their new people because they're suffering. They're in trials and tribulations. So they're offering bread, milk, whatever they have, whatever they can do. They're regular farmers. They grow olives. You know what I'm saying? They have their own culture. But within a year, the Nakba happens. Within a year, you kick out the same people that you came to, the same people that allowed you to stay. Within 1 year, you kicked out 750,000 people. You think they just left, or do you think they fought? People had to die for that. So my thing is, if Britain and France wanted to give the Jewish people another land, if the Jewish people at that time, Germany was killing them, Nazis were killing them, right? So, and they're from European countries like Austria, Switzerland, Russia, all them countries. So my thing is, if it's an European problem, why didn't European countries take care of it? Why did you have to put them in Middle East? You follow what I'm saying? So now, 75 years later, they keep on taking more and more land and torturing them. Obviously, you have the help of America. America gives them so much money. You have the help of West. You then bought up everything, and now you were just taking more and more space. You control their food. You control their water. You post up checkpoints everywhere, literally everywhere. My older sister is Palestinian. She lives in Kentucky. She tells me stories. She was born over there. She went to her country with her kids. She went to her country with her kids and with her sister-in-law. There were 10 people. Dude, there were 10 people. They went from New York to get into, I think, I forgot which airport they landed at. I'm not sure, maybe it was Tel Aviv or something, trying to get into Palestine. Dude, they were stuck in the airport for 9 hours. And I said this story in another podcast where they were strip searched like 4 times. And then after 9 hours, they were sent back here. She was born in Palestine. Her mother is from Al-Quds and her dad's from Ramallah. But this is nothing. Not a single family just goes through everyday life without something happening to them. Right. If you don't believe me, you can just look them up on YouTube.
Oh yeah, of course. Research is always number one at the end of the day. And also you mentioned, you said something about Zionists. So there's different types of Jews. And what is the difference between the two? Since you mentioned that already.
See, I don't want to get too deep into it. I'd rather have you guys look it up. But when Zionism started, Zionism is a colonial project. That's when the Jewish people felt like they need a state, they need a land, they need some space to practice their own faith without anybody bothering them. You follow what I'm saying? They need safety and security, so they need their own country. So the problem that I have with that, you see, if my kid is American and if my kid is Muslim, then she's an American Muslim. If you have a son and if your son is Christian, then your son is American Christian. So a religion doesn't really require land. But if I say I'm an American, therefore I have to be from America. If I say I'm Canadian, I'm from Canada. If I say I'm Bengali, I'm from Bangladesh. So that's what Zionism is. That's when you put a race into a religion and call these people Israeli and not just Jewish people. You follow what I'm saying? So now you done gathered up people from all these different countries and put them in Middle East. You see what I'm saying? So now that's a colonial project. It's a vision to take over the whole entire Palestine. That's all it is. It's ethnic cleansing. And that's not it. Lebanon is next. Who knows? Maybe Jordan is next. I don't know what's next. So that's what Zionism is.
Okay. And also if we take a look at let's take a look at the country itself. Okay. Where were the Jews put? Like you said, I mean, where were they put when they were given that land within that country?
So obviously Palestine is pretty. I don't want to say it's the biggest country in the world, but it's pretty big and it's decent size. So the way the British government, the way they divided the land, they made the West and the East. So that's how they divided the land. I don't really know too much about the history, exactly what part they given. I know the West Bank that used to be a lot bigger before, and Gaza that you see used to be a lot bigger before. But they keep on taking it. Even in the West Bank, they made 4 separate sections: A, B, C, D. So even within those zones, they keep on taking more and more lands. So they do this every single day. I don't know if you know, but Gaza, the area, it's an open air prison, where it's an area that's probably 5 feet by 25 feet in length, probably as big as, I don't know, maybe from here to Lockport. And it's walled up. There's concrete walls that's probably about 30 feet high. You can't. There are cameras. There are automatic weapons. There are AI. Yeah, all type of things on there. There's
So there's
laser
like a
shot.
border, like in
Absolute
between.
check post. 20.
Wow.
There's like 23, 24 check posts between a person from leaving their house to going through that wall and coming to do their work in Israel, because there are people that actually leave every single day past those 23 gates, come back, and then go back again. And there are interviews that you can see that he said the cameras are so powerful, there's facial recognition. It picks up who you are before you even enter the gate.
Okay.
So sometimes the IDF, the soldiers or the police, they know who you are. They know exactly who you are before you even walk in, because they know you passed the other checkpost. Now you're walking in here.
And when did those checkposts like really started? Like when did they started like building like those?
4 years, man. 4 years.
So it was something that was planned like ahead.
Yeah, this whole thing is planned. It's not. It's an agenda. That's what it is.
Okay.
That's the plan. I mean, I don't really care what the world calls it. You know what I mean? I see it. I'm gonna call it what it said. I see videos online. Their IDF members are on the beach and calling it Gaza is ours. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to nuke the entire that location over. They want to kill everybody there. That's what their plan is.
And if we take a look at the news, like, do you think the news is kind of like is the news being biased, or is it being straightforward with what's going on, like in those countries? I mean, in that country specifically.
I mean, news in America obviously is definitely going to be. Israel is our ally, so we are never going to be speaking against Israel, no matter what. Right? We help out. We give them $3 billion every year. Biden just gave, I think, $14.5 billion. There's billions of dollars that go there every single year. So they control the money. They control the media. So the news that you see on Fox and CNN, those numbers are never going to be correct, man. If you really want to see what's going on, just open up Snapchat and see. Go to Gaza location and see what the people really putting up in their stories.
So there's people that actually, like on Snapchat, kind of like post everything on a daily basis.
Absolutely. There are not just Snapchats. There are journalists. They're risking their life. Some of their names are they're risking their lives every day just to show the world the pain and suffering that they're currently going through in Gaza right now. They just bombed a school. I just seen a video this morning. I think over 200 people died. It's nothing. Innocent kids, babies, everywhere. Bodies is everywhere.
And that's something that the news is not really showing.
Of course not.
That's crazy. I mean, that's why I tell people, like, when it comes to like just anything in general, like I feel like just look into it, look deeper, because a lot of times if you really pay attention, the news is not always going to show almost everything. And I don't know if it's because it's too explicit, like for the viewers, like because it's kids watching with their parents, family watching and stuff like that. But also I feel like if you're a viewer, you should always look deeper into like an issue. That's why, like, right now I have you right here, and it's not just because, okay, I stand with this side or this side. No, because I want to be educated. You feel me? Like, I want to be educated on what's going on around the world, so that way I can look into it on my own and actually learn and see, okay, this is actually what's going on. You feel me? And yeah. So, and also I've seen you actually protesting. Like, do you think like all around the world, like people are actually standing up for Palestine?
Absolutely, man. So if you actually look at the numbers, from October 7th, because that's when everything kind of started, right? When Hamas kind of attacked, Israel, so, or occupied Palestine, whatever you want to call it. So from the 7th to the 13th, I think the numbers are. The rallies that happened, I think there were like 60% Palestinians, 40% Israeli. I think those are the numbers. But if you look at the numbers from the 13th till now, from the 13th of October till now, today is the what?
The 18th. 18th. Yeah.
Today's the 18th, right? So from 13 till now, it's 95% of the rallies that are happening in the world are pro-Palestinians. So people are waking up, man. People are coming together regardless of their color, regardless of their religion, regardless of their race, ethnicity, language, like how you and I are here together. So people understand the truth. People are human, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to make my vision come true by bringing a certain awareness to let you know what's really happening, for you to stand up with me, for you to understand the cause and be part of this bigger movement. Because I do think that sooner or later people are going to be waking up. And I think that people sooner or later, even though it's not the right way for me to say it, but it's going to be a trend to be a pro-Palestinian. You know what I'm saying? So be on the right side of the history without the trend. You know what I'm saying? Be single-handedly. It's hard to stand by yourself when the waves are against you. It requires heart to just stand on your ground.
I mean, that's true, bro. I mean, it requires, like you said, heart. It requires unity. It requires, humanity. You feel me? Like all those things.
Work.
So, and like if we take a look at like around the world, like where like in America have you seen like the major rallies in terms of like standing up for Palestine?
So they just had a rally in DC, over 300,000 people.
300,000.
Over 300,000 people. Yeah, I think this was last week.
Wow.
They had they had many rallies in New York City, over 100,000 people. They just had a complete shutdown of the bridge in San Fran. People literally went and parked their car and threw their keys away. They shut down the entire highway.
Say what?
I'm serious.
They threw their kids.
I'm serious. They threw their keys.
Them people crazy.
Dude,
what?
they
Throw your keys?
They threw their keys.
Like where? In the water?
In the water. They threw their keys in the
So
water.
how they gonna get their cars? Like
They had to get their cars towed.
towed. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That
But
is-
you see, when people come together, they make these type of statements. But when people come together, you know what happens? Ships, big ships full of weapons and bombs, dude. People were literally hanging on to it, and they stopped the ship from going. They stopped the ship. People stopped the ship.
So the ship was going from where to where?
I think it was Boston to Israel to drop off weapons. That's what we do. We give weapons to Israel to kill kids. That's where our money go. That's where our tax dollars go. Do you work?
Oh yeah, I work
Do you pay taxes?
every day.
So now you understand where your money is
Every
going.
day, bro. Every day paying taxes. I mean, like at the end of the day, we look at the roads and stuff like that and think about like what? Like we need things that we need fixed here, but it's not really being paid attention to. But yeah, I mean,
That's what I'm saying. I live here. I pay taxes here. Why isn't Main Street fixed? Why can't those kids in these high schools and get laptops and these kids get books?
right.
I don't understand. Let's fix our parks. We can use some of that money here. You know what I'm saying? Let's fix our country first before we start giving money to another country to kill people, right? We're better than that in 2023.
And how have you been? I know it's very heartbreaking, but like, in terms of like, cause I've been hearing a lot of different news. Like there's kids, women, and whatever, and old people dying in Palestine, and then on the other side, I hear there's kids, women, and children, and old people dying in Israel. So like, with all that being said, like, that's what puts me like on that side to say, you know what, just cease fire, just stop, just stop, because if one side is dying, another side is dying, and especially people who are very much like civilians, incapable of picking up a weapon and fight for themselves, I feel like it's just so pointless to continue fighting, and just by those things happening, like, do you think the world leaders are actually looking into that, like, to kind of like actually focus on, like those young lives that's being taken away, the women and all the people that can't fight? Do you think they're very much looking into that and trying to fix the issue?
Dude, the world is much more the world is more selfish than we think. I'm gonna be straight up with you. It's been over 40 days. It has been over 40 days, and not a single thing really happened. Okay, there are many countries that have taken their ambassadors from Israel. They have many countries that have cut down their relationship with Israel, right? Even a lot of Arab countries, for example, all the Arab countries, they got together and they were trying to do something for Palestine. They spoke about it. Qatar said, "I want to stop the gas," but nothing happened. You have over 40 days and over 11,000 people dead. Over 4,000, 5,000 kids dead. You have hospitals and schools where people were living because they didn't have nowhere else to live. Over 1.8 million people out of 2.2 million people are displaced from their homes. Just think about that for 1 second, bro. Think about when you go outside and you were in your car, but when it's time for you to go home, you don't have a home.
That is sad, man.
Think about that. After this
that is
podcast, I
sad.
want to go home.
That is sad, and that goes for every word that goes around the world, bro. It's like it just in terms of like a lot of things such as humanitarian crisis, people running away, people can't even go back to their home. That's the most saddest thing, bro. Because I mean, we're all from those type of like, issues. Like coming from a different country all the way here. The reason why we came here was because of conflict, in our countries, and so on. And yeah, like just looking at things, and especially like I already said, bro, like in terms of like kids, women, and old people people who are not in the military, like that's why I get confused at like why is it that when it comes to war nowadays and even back then back in the days, it's like the military trained to fight another military group, but why do they aim to fight against civilians?
That's the thing, though, man. So you asked me the question that you asked me earlier. I didn't answer. How do I feel about people that's dying in Israel? I'm sad. I'm hurt. I'm not happy about the situation that has happened on the 7th. I'm very hurt by it. I don't want regular people to die. If you are a civilian, I do not want you to die.
And
But that's everybody. That's you too.
And do you have sympathy for the both groups?
Of course. Absolutely. I don't want normal people to die. You haven't done anything. But my question is this. Everyone keeps saying Israel has the right to defend itself, right?
Okay.
Everyone you always hear that, right? But defend itself from who? You are the occupier. You are the occupier. So naturally you are on the attacking side. You control their food. You control their water, right? You have a big wall. They literally have, dude, on top of the walls, it's cameras, it's lasers shooting like at Palestinian houses. You can look at Joe Rogan's podcast. There's a lady, she talks about what life is like in Palestine. So check this out, right? You know that there was a hospital attack that they had a dispute about because some said it was an IDF attack. They attacked the hospitals, and then the other people were mentioning no, it was a Hamas, and then they were trying to like something happened and the bomb just dropped itself, like they killed their own people basically. And then that quickly, IDF had a phone conversation recorded between two Hamas soldiers about that attack. You follow what I'm saying? But my question is, you had phone conversation recorded of two Hamas soldiers in a tunnel or this and that, because you said that's where they are, within hours of that attack. But you didn't see all them guys. You didn't see all them guys coming in from Gaza to here. Your cameras didn't work. You didn't see the bulldozers coming in from the other side. You didn't see all them guys trying to break your walls. How come the cameras weren't working? How come the lasers weren't working? I thought you had AI machines. How come the soldiers were told to stand down for 6 hours? How come it took you that long to attack back? How many of those people that they killed are those true numbers? Because first you said 1,400, then you said 1,200. But we haven't seen 1,200 bodies, nor we have seen 1,200 funerals. Have you?
I mean, I haven't seen like I haven't been watching closely like in the news, but like based on what I've been looking at, I've been seeing more news related to Palestine more than Israel. Like every news source that I see, like you said on TikTok, Instagram, and so on, I've been seeing a lot of Palestine people running away and so on. And I don't know if that's what the news is not showing, but at the end of the day, that's what I've been seeing with my own eyes. To speak on it, yep. Which is crazy. So I haven't really seen a lot of. The only thing I've been seeing is military from Israel, like just going into like hospitals, and then there's this one video I watched, them going into a hospital, and they were showing like these weapons behind like the MRI machines and stuff like that, and I was just like, okay. So they kept showing those videos. They said that the Hamas military groups were the ones that placed those weapons in those hospitals, And it was also a video that was sent to me actually. So I wanted to ask you, like, is that like something that's been happening as well, or is just something that they're planting in order to kind of like bring a false image to Palestine?
Of course, you know what it is. You answered your own question, right? Because when we see the bodies, we see nothing but kids. We see nothing but women. We see nothing but elderly people that's dead. We don't see no Hamas soldiers. If Hamas took your hostages, if Hamas came in and took your hostages, but you say Hamas are in the tunnels, they have over like 300 kilometers of spider web type of tunnels underneath Gaza.
Really?
Yeah, that's what they said. So my thing is, if your hostages are in the bottom of the city, but you're bombing from up top, how are you going to find your hostages? That's my question. So that tells me that you were not looking for your hostages. Because me dropping a bomb on you, there is a possibility that I may kill my hostage because I don't know where they are. You follow what I'm saying? So if I'm trying to save my hostages, would I wait 30, 40 days to save my hostages? Or would I want to go ahead and send a special ground force who can kind of maneuver their way and save those hostages? What's their number one priority? So let's say Hamas attacked, for example, and took your people. What's the number one priority right now?
Oh, for any country, bro, it's
get those
protecting your citizen.
Yeah, to get those people back, right?
Yeah, your citizens come first. Like any country, like if your citizens are stuck somewhere, no matter what, the number one priority for a country is to rescue those citizens.
What has been happening? Have you seen any efforts?
I've been seeing a lot of, Palestinian people running, bombing houses, buildings, and so on, which, man, it's sad to see. It's sad to see, especially, like, we already talked about young people, women and old people, just dying, who are not part of the military group at all. Being looked
That's
at.
my issue.
Yeah.
That's if you're gonna fight Hamas. Why do you want to fight? Why is it a collective punishment?
Yeah, that's what I said too. Like in terms of like any war that goes around the world, bro, like military should be fighting military groups. I feel like they should just find like that one ground where they can just fight. Like whoever wins. But at the end of the day, it's like civilian people. I don't feel like they should be involved in any type of violence.
Of course not.
You know.
But when it's an ideology to take over land, and there are 2.2 millions of people that live there, then you have to get rid of the people to take over the land. So only people are on your way. So now we were talking about Hamas, right?
Right.
And Hamas attacked, therefore they're looking for so-called Hamas, right? And killing. So what if I were to ask you, why are you killing in West Bank? Because there is no Hamas over there. Why are you going crazy? They killed over 250 people in West Bank alone. They shot 2 kids yesterday. They kill people every day, bro. They're regular citizens. They get to kill a regular Palestinian and nothing ever happens to them.
Has there been like any? I mean, so far, I know there's still violence going on, but like, has there been like any effort in terms of like the leaders of Palestine and the leaders of Israel like coming together and speaking, trying to like come to a conclusion in terms of like bringing some sort of peace?
See, so it's so called peace, right? This is something that I want to bring into your attention. Obviously, we all want peace. Everyone prays for peace. But before I am peaceful, allow me to be free. Let me get out of slavery. You see what I'm saying? Let me be free first. Let me get my freedom. Don't control me. Don't have posts in my country. Don't stop me from doing anything. Don't stop me from entering my country. You follow what I'm saying? Let me be free. Don't build a wall around my country. First of all, you are in my country that you have taken by force, and not that you made me a second-class citizen, and then you made me a prisoner. You follow what I'm saying? That's all it is. It's an open-air prison, man. Bottom line, over 90% of the men, they don't have jobs. Over 60% of the people can't even drink like regular water, bro. Think about that.
Well, what came to that conclusion though, in terms of like them shutting down? Because I've seen it also, like I've been watching the news as well, like people saying, "Oh, they shut down the water, electricity, and so on." Like, what came to that conclusion for them to start doing that? Like, oh, is it for them to stop Hamas or to torture the people of Palestine? Because I don't get it. I mean, I don't know how Hamas, how they represent themselves on the media, but like, I haven't seen no such a thing as Hamas. Like can you explain to me though? Because I want to learn something. Like, who formulated the group?
So that's another very. Thank you for bringing that up. It was Israel that created Hamas, that funded Hamas in 1987. So it was PLO. It's the same, bro. It's the same concept. It's divide and conquer, right? It's let them divide within, let them fight within, and then whoever wins will obviously defeated the other guy. And then either they're gonna fight each other, or let them keep on fighting, and whoever wins after that, I'm gonna go ahead and kill him and take that over after that. You follow what I'm saying? It's the oldest trick in the book. So it was Israel that funded Hamas in 1987 to fight against PLO, and that's what they have been doing. They have given them money.
And who was the PLO?
PLO is the other group. Okay. PLO is the other side. So I wouldn't even be surprised if they killed their own people, to be honest with you. I don't have any proof, so it's hard for me to say. But there are many questions I have that's not answered. Like, why did it take you? You have the most intelligent defense system. Think about that. IDF.
In the world.
In the world, bro.
So they got that.
Bro, they got that. They have Iron Dome where if you shoot like a bomb or something, like a grenade or something like that, like a missile, it shoot that, bro. You can't even.
Oh, so it just comes and bounces.
Yeah, like not bounces back, but you will shoot it.
Or like automatically.
Yeah, automatically you find itself. Like you find it. It's called Iron Dome. Look, I'm not a weapon expert. I don't really know how it works, but that's what I'm saying.
Wow.
So their defense system. They spend money, man. They have bomb shelters everywhere. Everything is built everywhere. They spend money.
So they have a crazy military.
Exactly. So how is it that you have a group of 1,000 men are coming to your country with motorcycles and parachutes and taking over for that long and killing up your people?
Where do Hamas like usually like stay? Like, do they stay like outside of Palestine, or like, I'm confused. How did they even get the access to even be in that country? Like,
so Hamas is if you ask me, I obviously don't agree with their violence or anything that they. If it's true, I don't agree with it. If I don't, the thing is, I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? At this point, I don't know what's true, what's not. So if they violently kill people, obviously I'm not for it.
right.
But America has called them terrorist organizations, right? But I call IDF a terrorist organization because they both groups do the same thing. They kill people, so they're both terrorists. One side just wears uniform, the other side doesn't. That's the only thing. Now, in Ukraine, if you fight to save your land, you're called a freedom fighter. You're given money, you're given weapons to fight the Russians. But if you fight to protect and defend yourself, you're called a terrorist in Palestine. Do you understand the double standards here? So that's what I'm bringing out here.
Wow.
I'm raising questions. I'm bringing an idea. Like, is it valid here, or is it just me?
I mean, it's good. It's good to ask those questions, bro. Especially that's why I tell people like. I
And
mean,
it's not
you.
just me, by the way. The world is asking.
Oh yeah, definitely,
The
definitely.
people are
That's
asking questions.
definitely, definitely. I mean, everybody want to know. I mean, we all live in a world where we feel like there's so much things that have been hidden from us. You feel me? In terms of like in politics, in terms of like in terms of like resources and so on. There's so much things that we feel as human beings that they tend to keep away from us. So that's why it's always good to have those back end questions. Like you said, like there's so many questions that you have that haven't been answered. But you still want to know exactly because it's a way to just feel to be educated and to know exactly how you can maneuver like within this world. And also like bro, so I want to know exactly because you mentioned about Israel funding Hamas, but like there was this one leader. Um, I forgot his name, but he's a really famous leader who was also in was it Israel or Palestine? I believe you mentioned his name earlier.
Yasser Arafat.
Yeah. So like, can you talk more about him? Just a little bit, just a little gist of it, like on why he was killed.
I can't speak on it too much because I was, I seen him as I was growing up. He was the leader, so I don't really know much history about his death. I do know that he got killed, and I do know that he fought for liberation of Palestine, and he spoke the truth, and he saw it for himself, and obviously the West doesn't like it, and they killed him. But in terms of how he got killed or anything like that, I don't really know much about. That's something I'm gonna have to do a little bit more research on, and maybe come back and talk more about it next time.
All right, sounds good, sounds good. And yeah, bro. I mean, I don't want to get this too far. I mean, we have already been chatting for a very long time now. But other than that, let's kind of like bring awareness to other countries as well. There's a lot of things that's been going on around the world, and a lot of people haven't really been looking into it. For those that haven't been looking into it, so we just kind of like give them a gist of it. There's there's things that's been going on in, let's say, Congo,
Congo, yeah.
Sudan,
Sudan, yes.
um,
Afghanistan,
Afghanistan,
China,
China,
Burma.
like all Burma. There's so many different countries, so
Correct.
many different countries, and like, what is it like with the leaders, bro? Like, what is it with the leaders, and how can people come together in order for everybody to kind of like be on the side of humanity? And it's something that's very powerful, but a lot of people tend to not really see it as it is. Um, and now it's like, there's other stuff going on, like how can leaders just, come together, bring nations together and fix these issues?
Um, Dude, it's bad in Congo right now. And then again, I know you're from Congo,
Oh
and,
yeah, it's
and
it's 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 really bad. It's really bad, and a lot of people don't really know exactly. Congo is really being targeted by a lot of countries because of the resources.
correct.
You feel me? It's not,
And why don't you tell us what kind of resources Congo has? What
bro.
is Congo known for?
Congo
Why
has
don't we talk about that?
Congo has everything, bro. We call it coltan, which is cobalt.
Right.
There's
And what
diamonds,
is that? What
bro.
is
I
that
mean,
used for?
you're holding already. Like
Right.
it's used for the phones. I mean, I have a phone, and I know it hurts me to know.
Any modern
Yeah,
technology.
yeah. Any modern technology, not just phones. Like, but like it hurts, bro. It hurts, especially like seeing images where young kids are being, you know,
Villages
are,
after villages.
they're being pushed to work and go crazy. Like, and a lot of times, a lot of nations tend to pull so much. They tend to kind of like hold Congo in. in a way that they will loan the money and then say, okay, since we loaned you the money, now we have the right to kind of like take your resources, and that's how they try to get like a lot of African countries. As soon as they give you that loan, now it's like, okay, now let's get something from them, and if we take a look at the news, a lot of things that were not really shown about what all these European countries come to Africa to do is they tend to come and spread the ideology of the Western countries, like um, such as in Kenya, um, Vice President of the United States went to Kenya to kind of like spread, the awareness of the LGBTQ community. Like it's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong. People can be who they want to be, but like when it comes to like different countries, different continent, that I don't really believe in how
It doesn't work the
in
same.
the things that you believe in. It doesn't work the same. But then their main focus was that instead of like I already had the conversation with you. I said the main focus should have been infrastructure. Like coming into our countries. Okay, let's invest. Let's build. Okay, now after
People don't even have food to eat.
people don't even
Don't
have
even have
food
clean
to eat.
water.
Exactly, bro. But instead of coming into our countries and trying to say like, what, let's work together. Let's build. Let's try to build buildings. Let's try to find a way to kind of like trade and help each other in terms of like economy. Because
Exactly.
America is also suffering in terms of like loans. There's
Big
trillions,
time.
trillions and trillions of dollars that they own.
Yes.
They owe to other
China
countries.
alone.
Exactly. So like, why not look at that first instead of like the other side? A lot of African leaders not gonna agree with you like in the first place. As soon as you come with the idea, a lot of African countries won't really agree with you like that in the first place. So like I feel like that's where the problem is. That's where the problem is. Like it's like they don't really care to better the lives of African people, but to actually bring their own ideas and kind of like feed it into us. But they know that we're not gonna accept it. You feel me? So, and that's what's going on, bro. Like that's what's going on. They just want to get the resources and just out. Nothing else.
Dude, Congo should be the richest country in the world.
That's
Like
that's
Congo should be Congo is the poorest country in the world, but Congo should be the richest country in the world. Same thing as Sudan. Sudan's dying right now, dude. There are villages
Sudan.
after villages being wiped away. There are two military groups that are fighting each other, and they're wiping out villages after villages. I mean, nobody's even talking about them. They don't even have internet. They can't share pictures.
That's it.
You follow what I'm saying? Nobody talks about them because they're in Africa. In Afghanistan, Pakistan just pushed out 1.5 million people from Pakistan to Afghanistan because they're refugees. They didn't have any paperwork.
Wow.
Now, obviously, there are both sides of the story about if they were allowed to stay or if they were not allowed to stay. But at the end of the day, with or without paper, those are people. You get it? So
Those are people. Because at the end of the day, if we look at the other way around, there have been people going into those people's countries
yeah, of
to
course.
get things from them.
Yes.
But as soon as the thing, I think as soon as things just turn around and now they're asking for help, it's like you look the other way around.
Of course. Yeah.
Which is crazy, which is the evil part of the world, bro.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of times people want something from you. There's all these countries. I mean, the Middle Eastern countries that produces major production of oil. So now it's like as soon as the oil part is not really, then as soon as they see that there's a war, there's conflict, the oil part really becomes okay. Now let's look away for a little bit. As soon as the war goes away, just a little bit, they go for that oil. So like it's like it just don't make sense how all these people just has to be so selfish in terms of like helping the other side of the world. Um, I mean, I don't know how things will go because a lot of times people say, "Oh, no, maybe it's just this one political group in America. Oh, this one political group in Europe." But I just don't think it's that, bro. I feel like it's just, and also let's not forget we can blame our leaders. Like in terms of like if we look at in Africa, we can blame our leaders. Like some leaders really don't stand up for their people.
Bro. You think Joe Biden is standing up for us?
Nah, you know,
Yeah, you think he
nah,
stood up for us?
nah,
No,
he's
obviously.
not. He's not gonna stand up for us.
No, of course not. So it's always political agendas, man. It's always about money. Money is the root of all evil, and that's one of the things that I do want to talk about today, because we can't just always talk about what we were doing. I'm bringing in awareness. Okay, what else are we doing, right? Uh, as humans, as regular people, what power do we have? Well,
Right.
we do have power, right?
We do have so much power.
So much power.
So much as you see, like so much power. Because your voice, you saw how many people you brought today. Because today you had something going
Yeah,
on.
we had a rally for peace. It's called ceasefire now,
Ceasefire, yeah.
but for peace and justice.
Yeah, you see
in
it. You see how
Palestine.
much power that was. Like you just speaking up, and then boom, you have all those people.
A lot of people
following
showed up, man. I think over
Yeah.
like maybe 2,000-3,000 people showed up
Two,
in
three
downtown.
thousand.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Wow, that's crazy, bro.
That's
That's
the thing,
powerful.
man. People are coming together. People are standing with each other. Uh, we gotta come together more now, right? We gotta come together because there are, let's say for example, there are over 100,000 Muslims in just in Buffalo alone, between Bengali and Yemeni population. Bengali, Yemeni, Somalian, Ethiopian, Iraqi, Palestini, except whatever. You know what I'm saying? The all minorities basically. So we have a large number. All the corner stores, Muslims probably own over 400 or 500 businesses in
Yeah,
Buffalo.
that's crazy. Yep. You
So
see that
imagine,
every day.
yeah, imagine we just stopped with all Israeli brands. Imagine we found a just different brand and different distributor for all Pepsi, Coke. All the Israeli brands weren't used. We would cripple the economy of Western New York within 3 days. You follow what I'm saying? So if you wanna cut the evil, let's target them where it hurts the most, because it's always money, dude. Money controls everything.
Oh
Money
yeah.
controls the world, and that's exactly what they're doing in the world. They are actively protesting against boycotting Israeli brands. But as we boycott these brands, we also got to make sure that we actively support those brands on local shops that are supporting, that are donating, that are doing something about it, that are protesting, speaking out about it. You follow what I'm saying?
Definitely, definitely. And I've seen actually like another post, as you just said that there was people at Starbucks,
Yeah.
Starbucks, kind of like boycotting Starbucks.
Yeah, many
Like,
Starbucks already closed down. They lost over, I think Starbucks and McDonald's combined over, they lost over 100 million dollars already, if I'm not
yes,
mistaken.
that's because of. I mean, because there's countries in Africa that kind of, I mean, that produces major distribution of coffee, and Starbucks do get that coffee from there.
Like Ethiopia is probably one of
Ethiopia,
them.
like Rwanda and
Or
all those.
Rwanda too.
Yeah, they produce
Rwanda's so
coffee.
beautiful, man.
And them just producing that coffee, it's like they go to those countries and they make kids work. That's where the issue is. A lot of people know that's where the issue is. Like they're going there, kids are working, they're paying them nothing. Like they will give them like 1 cent, 1 cent just to work like few
For
hours. Because they know with the currency back home, it's like okay, 1 cent, and then they pay them another. It's just like how kids and other people get used to produce these iPhones in China. They get paid 25. Like I heard that it's like 25 cents or whatever to make an iPhone, and then they come here, they sell it for like $1,000. So stuff like that, and that's really heartbreaking for most people. Like for most people, it's just seeing how people are being treated, people are being enslaved. Like people are working like slaves, bro. Like, and they're getting nothing out of it. You feel me? All these major businesses just eating the money, just taking the money, taking the goods from those people, and then on the other hand, they're not giving nothing back. That's really heartbreaking, and that's why I've been seeing a lot of boycotts, bro. Like a lot, like for different reasons. Um, and it's like, wow.
we should definitely participate, man. as people, as you know, as more people wake up and more people come together, we should definitely participate more and more of these type of activities. We don't have to go break no Starbucks, or have violence in the streets. We don't have to do none of that.
Yeah,
We could go ahead and kill the problem in the roots. You know what I mean? Kill it where it hurts the most. Hit them there.
I know. A lot of some people can, some people can't really do it because I know it takes a lot. Because a lot of the people in this generation have grew up using all these types of resources. So their mind is severely like so used to it to a point where like if you was to take it away from them, like it will make them feel some type of way. So I feel like in order for people to actually start doing it, I feel like they should just learn more, be aware of what's going on, and find a way, find a, like an alternative, if that's how you say it, like a different way to actually communicate with their loved ones without actually um using these major whatever products that they create after having other people suffering for them. So I feel like people have to build that self awareness and also be able to, discipline themselves and saying, you know what, I could go days without coffee. I could go days without my phone. I could do this without this. But yeah, it's hard. But like that's where the problem is as well. Because the more people, I mean, the new iPhone that came out, everybody jumped up to upgrade. So instead of like people saying, you know what, I'm just gonna keep my old one. They were like, you know what, I'm gonna upgrade. And that's what that's how these major companies continue to grow.
Facts.
That's how they continue to do their things, to continue to have these people working like crazy, to continue getting the kids in the mind working. There's people dying, but yeah. So that's where the problem is, bro. That's where I look at. I'm like, it's the people. You can't really. Sometimes you can't really blame those major companies. It's like, how can we avoid them bringing this nonsense?
Absolutely.
Mm.
You said a very good point earlier. Um, you're not gonna go ahead and not go to Starbucks unless you know what Starbucks does against you. You follow what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
Starbucks gives a portion of their money to Israel, which therefore uses to make weapons and their kids. So Starbucks, McDonald's, all these McDonald's, they made weapons. I mean, they have given their money to Israel. Same thing.
Where's Starbucks from though? Like, where was it funded? Here?
That I don't know.
Cause I
But it's all I know is it's an Israeli company. It's an Israeli
oh
brand. It's not just Starbucks, dude. It's many brands like Lay's, Lifebuoy, many Pepsi. There are so many HP. It just there so many.
oh wow.
Yeah,
So
there are
they
so
they
many.
there's a lot of companies that
There are lots and lots of
I
companies.
didn't really know that, to be honest. I knew there is like a huge portion of companies, but not that.
Lot of our CEOs of our major companies in
Hmm.
America, they're dual citizens of Israel as well.
Okay.
You got to understand that. I'm not. It's nothing wrong with being an Israeli citizen. I'm not saying anything wrong with being Jewish or anything like that. I'm just bringing something into your attention because once you become an Israeli, now I don't know if you're a Zionist or if you're a true Jewish because there are many Jewish people who don't agree with the propaganda and the current concept of colonization of Palestine. They don't agree with that. So I got to make it very clear that I'm talking against the state of Israel, not the Jewish people. You follow what I'm saying? As a Muslim, I have no problem with that. That's not what the problem is. The problem is with the occupation. You are the occupier. You can't occupy me. That is the fight. You follow what I'm saying?
I follow what you're saying, man.